Hello everyone, welcome to Career Talk channel. So today we are going to discuss top 7 behavioral interview questions. So let's see one by one. So first question which we are going to discuss is, in your experience as a Scrum Master, why do you consider daily Scrums to be crucial part of Scrum, and what outcomes do you expect them to achieve for the team? So how we can handle this question's answer? So as we all know, like daily scrums are an important part of Scrum, which is a framework for managing the projects in an agile way. So in simple terms, daily scrums are the short daily meetings where the team members gather together and share their updates on their work, discuss their challenges they are facing, and plan their work for the day. So the main benefits of the daily scrum is like it can improve the team coordination. How? Like a daily scrum can help the team members to stay on the same page and work together towards their goals. By sharing the updates, team members can make sure they all are moving in the same direction, in right direction, and it avoid any overlaps or gaps in their work. It increases visibility, transparency as well, as daily scrum make the progress of work visible to everyone on the team. So this helps identify any delays or issues early so that can be addressed quickly as well. So faster issue resolution, like daily scrums provides us forum for the team member to raise and discuss the challenges they are facing. And collaboration also, daily scrum promote collaboration among the team members. They can work together to find the solution, offer help to each other, support each other, which creates a positive team culture. And inspection and adaptation. So daily scrum enable the teams to regularly inspect and adapt the progress towards the sprint goal. And by discussing the progress and the challenges daily, teams can make timely adjustments to their plans, ensuring that they are on track to achieve the sprint commitments. So it's a good practice to see the burn down chart daily during the stand-ups to see the risk, if any, and adapt accordingly. So just understand in this way, like let's say one of the team member is blocked somewhere, but whole team is not aware. There is no transparency because there is no stand up. If there is no stand up, there is no transparency because they are not meeting daily. So so this is not a good thing in if this is happening. Like of course no team want to stay blocked for so many days. So team should continuously collaborate with each other, connect with each other daily in a disciplined manner. During the daily stand-up, they should share their challenges, their blockers, and try to find out the solutions. Not during the daily stand-up because it's a time boxed meeting, but after the daily stand-up, they can discuss in detail the blocker, what actually that in daily stand-up they can know, like this is the blocker the team is facing, how we can handle it, how we can find the solution. That is a different part that after the stand-up we can discuss. But daily stand-up brings transparency so that we can adapt the things accordingly. So that's why I see daily stand-up meeting is a very important meeting for if you are using Scrum, if we are Agile, if you want to Agile, then daily Scrum is really very important meeting. So that's it. Let's move towards the next question. So next question is, from your experience as a Scrum Master, why do you place importance on sprint planning, and what benefits do you anticipate it brings to the team in terms of their work effectiveness and collaboration? Let's see on the next slide. As a Scrum Master, I place great importance on sprint planning because it sets the foundation for a successful sprint and ensures that the team is well prepared to tackle their work effectively. So sprint planning is a collaborative event where the team comes together to determine what work will be taken up during the sprint and how it will be accomplished. So let's see the benefits of sprint planning for the team in terms of work effectiveness and collaboration. So first, let's see first one. Bring the whole team together and align around common goals. So sprint planning provides us an opportunity for the entire team to understand the purpose of the sprint, why we are doing this sprint, what is the sprint goal, why we are gathered here, why we will do execute this whole sprint. So that's why this ensure that everyone has a shared understanding of what needs to be accomplished and sets the foundation for a collaborative and focused sprint. It sets the context by starting the sprint with clear priorities. So if team is clear about their priorities, so they can decide very easily what needs to be done first, what needs to be done after that. So this ensures that the team starts the sprint with a clear understanding of what needs to be done first and what is of higher priority, which helps in effective work allocation and task management. It identifies the roadblocks as well before they occur. So during the sprint planning, the team discuss and identify the potential roadblocks or the challenges that may impact the sprint's progress. So this allows the team to proactively plan for mitigating those risks and ensures that the sprint runs smoothly without unnecessary disruptions. It brings the stakeholder feedback also, because how it brings the stakeholder feedback in sprint planning meeting, it provides us an opportunity to bring in the feedback from the stakeholders, including customers, users, or other relevant parties. In sprint review, when you demo the things to the stakeholders, that time you gather the feedback, and based upon the feedback only you prioritize the stories in the sprint planning meeting. It helps there. So it gives you a benefit, the sprint planning meeting. If there is no sprint planning meeting, you will not be able to get a chance to prioritize based upon what stakeholder demand. Plus, we can learn from the previous sprint by considering sprint review and retrospective insights. Review thing we already covered. Retrospective insights also, if we somewhere in the previous sprint missed anything, we can rectify that here, we can improve that here. We rectified in retrospective meeting, identify that, can take an action item and can improve here in the planning meeting itself. Considering team capacity, of course, this is a chance where we can consider the team capacity and adjust accordingly to ensure that the goals are achieved and that the team is not overcommitted in the upcoming sprint. So sprint planning takes into consideration the team's capacity and capabilities. This helps in ensuring that the sprint goals are achievable and realistic, and the team is not overcommitted with excessive workload. So this promotes a sustainable piece of work and prevents the team burnout, which is one of the agile principles. If there is any dependency, we can plan for the dependency that may impact the flow of work. So we can identify those dependencies and we can see how we can manage those dependencies within a sprint, whether it is possible or not, or it's a big risk. If it is a risk, then we might not entertain that risk in the same sprint. We might first handle that dependency and then pick that story in this sprint, in the next sprint, sorry. And one thing, it's a myth if anyone is saying in Scrum there is no planning. In fact, in every sprint we have to plan, and basis of Scrum framework is inspection, adaptation, and transparency. So based on inspection we adapt ourselves to bring continuous improvement. That's it pretty much. So let's move towards next question. Next slide. So next question is, can you share your perspective on why Sprint Retro is considered as a crucial event in Scrum and what specific outcomes you expected to achieve for the team's learning and growth? So as a Scrum Master, I believe that Sprint Retro is a crucial event in Scrum because it serves as a dedicated time for the team to reflect, learn, and improve their work process. So, the specific outcomes that I expect from Sprint Retro to achieve the team's learning and growth, first is continuous improvement. So, Sprint Retrospective provides a platform for the team to reflect on their performance during the sprint and identify areas of improvement. This encourages a culture of continuous improvement where the team can openly discuss the challenges, success, and learning mindset and fosters team growth over time. Team collaboration, of course, Sprint Retro encourages open and honest communication within the team. So team members can share in their observations, insights, and feedbacks in safe and non-judgmental environment. And this promotes healthy team collaboration, fosters trust, and strengthens team dynamics. And it also helps in identifying and addressing any conflict or issues that may have arisen during the sprint, leading to improved team collaboration in future sprints. And of course, it encourages the team to conduct a throughout root cause analysis of any issues or challenges faced during the sprint. And this helps in identifying the underlying causes of the problem rather than just addressing the symptoms. So by addressing the root causes, the team can implement effective solution to prevent similar issues from recurring in future sprints. So leading to improved performance and efficiency. And celebrating success, of course. So Sprint Retro also provides an opportunity for the team to celebrate their success and acknowledge their achievements, can say thanks to each other, recognizing and appreciating team members efforts and contributions during the sprint. It fosters the team morale, motivation, and encourages them to strive for excellence in future sprints. Next, actionable improvement items. Of course, Sprint Retro results in an identification of the specific improvement items that are actionable and can be implemented in upcoming sprint. So these improvement items are documented and tracked to ensure that they are followed upon in the subsequent sprints. They are following that in the subsequent sprints. And this promotes a culture of accountability, and it drives tangible improvements in the team's work process and outcomes. So imagine if there are no retros, so we will always be in the same position. We will not improve, not able to improve, and we will not learn from our mistakes. So that's why these sessions conducts after every sprint to learn from previous mistakes and give our best in these future sprints. So that's why this meeting, this retro meeting is really very important. Everyone has to participate in this meeting and provides their feedback, and if there is an issue, there should be a proper root cause analysis to find out the solution so that in future those kind of issues will not come again. So question is, from your experience as a Scrum Master, why do you emphasize the importance of empirical process control, and what benefits do you anticipate it brings to the team's ability to respond to changing requirements and deliver valuable outcomes to stakeholders? So empirical process control is like driving a car. When you drive, you keep your eyes on the road and you check the speedometer, make the adjustment based on what you see and how fast you are going. Similarly, in Scrum, empirical process control is about keeping a close eye on the work being done, regularly checking the progress and making adjustments as needed. So just like you adjust your driving based on the road conditions, the traffic and your destination, the Scrum team adjusts their work based on their real-time feedback and observations. They regularly review how they are doing, gather the feedback from the stakeholders, and make the changes to their approach to ensure they are on track to meet their goals. So as a Scrum Master, I would explain empirical process control as a feedback driven approach that helps the team to stay on track, and it make the adjustments continuously, improve their work, just like how you adjust your driving based on what you see and experience on the road. So there are three pillars of the this empirical process. So you can see in the slide we have transparency, adaptation and inspection and adaptation. So uh, for transparency, it's mentioned giving visibility to these significant aspects to the process to those responsible for the outcome. So when you use Scrum framework, it's all about transparency. Whether we will talk about the daily Scrum or its sprint review showing the actual working software to the stakeholders. So it's all about transparency. We are keeping transparency at each and every level. Inspection, timely checks on the progress towards the sprint goal to detect undesirable variances. Because we are daily interacting with each other, we can, if we inspect the things, if we inspect the burn down chart, we can identify the risk, then take the action, we can discuss the blockers. So it's all about inspecting the things, and then based upon that we have to do the changes. Status adaptation, adjusting, adjusting yourself. So that's it. So adaptation is, this is like making adjustments to your driving based on what you see and what you inspect in Scrum. So it's like making the changes to the way the team works, and based on the new issues that they are coming or identified during the inspection. So all these three are very important for the Scrum. These are the three pillars of the Scrum. We have to continuously focus on this. Transparency should be there. We should inspect regularly, and then accordingly we have to adapt as well based on what we are inspecting. That's it. Let's move towards next question. So next question is, can you share your approach as a Scrum Master for managing sick leaves within a sprint to minimize disruptions and maintain the team's progress towards meeting their sprint goal? So as a Scrum Master, my approach to managing the sick leaves within a sprint involves the following steps, which mentioned in the slides, to minimize the disruption and maintain the team's progress towards meeting their sprint goal. Increasing team member health and well-being. Yeah. As a Scrum Master, I prioritize the health and well-being of the team members. I encourage them to take necessary sick leaves, and when they are unwell, to ensure that they can take the rest, recover, and come back to work with their full potential. So I also promote a culture where the team members feel comfortable discussing their health concerns and taking time off as needed. Ensuring cross-functional collaboration as well. I work with the team to ensure that there is a cross-functional collaboration and knowledge sharing. This means that the team members are aware about each other's tasks and responsibilities, and they are able to cover each other in case of any absence due to the sick leave. So this helps in minimizing the disruption and ensuring that the team's progress towards meeting the sprint goal is not hampered. Monitoring the sprint progress and adjusting the sprint backlog. Of course, I closely monitor the progress of the sprint and keep track of the impact of the sick leaves on the team's capacity. If the team member is on sick leave and their tasks are at risk of not being completed within the sprint, I work with the team to adjust the sprint backlog accordingly. So this may involve reprioritizing the task, redistributing the work among the team members, or seeking additional resources if needed to ensure that the sprint goal can still be achieved. Facilitating communication and coordination. Yes, I facilitate communication and coordination among the team members, stakeholders, and other relevant parties. So This includes keeping the team updated about team members' sick leaves, communicating any adjustments to the sprint backlog, and coordinating with the stakeholder to manage the expectations regarding the potential delays or changes in the sprint deliverables. Plus conducting the sprint retro. So after the sprint, I conduct a sprint retro to reflect on the team's performance, including the impact of the sick leave on the sprint, and this provides an opportunity for the team to discuss the challenges and the impact of the sick leaves on the sprint. So in conclusion, as a Scrum Master, my approach to managing the sick leave within a sprint involves prioritizing the team members' health, ensuring cross-functional collaboration, monitoring sprint progress, facilitating communication and coordination, and conducting sprint retrospective for continuous improvement. So this helps in minimizing the disruption and maintaining the team's progress towards meeting the sprint goal despite any unforeseen absence due to the sick leaves. That's it. So let's move towards next question. Okay, so question is, as a Scrum Master, how do you handle user stories that were not completed by the end of a sprint? And what strategies do you employ to ensure that they are addressed effectively in subsequent sprints? As a Scrum Master, my approach for handling the user story that were not completed by the end of the sprint involve few actions that I will take as a Scrum Master. First and foremost, I will review the reason. I work with the team to review the reasons why the user stories were not completed in the sprint. This may involve identifying any blockers, dependencies, or unforeseen challenges that contributed towards the incomplete status of the story. I will try to understand the root cause, which helps in addressing them effectively in subsequent sprint to prevent similar issues from arising. I'll try to prioritize the user story. I'll sit with product owner and the team to prioritize the incomplete user story based on the value, the dependencies, and the business needs. This may involve re-evaluating the priority of the user story based on the current sprint goal and the overall product backlog. So prioritizing the user story helps in ensuring that the most important and valuable user stories are addressed in subsequent sprints to deliver the highest value to the stakeholders. Managing the WIP limit, of course, that is also very important to check with the team. I work with the team to manage the WIP limit during the sprint planning and throughout the sprint. This includes setting the appropriate WIP limits for the team to prevent overloading and ensuring that the team focus on completing user stories before starting new ones. So managing the WIP helps in improving the team's capacity to complete the user stories within the sprint and address incomplete user stories more effectively in subsequent sprints. Next, there is always a retrospective in the end of the sprint. So after the sprint, I conduct a sprint retro to reflect on the team's performance, including the incomplete user stories as well. So this provides us an opportunity for the team to discuss the reasons for the incomplete user stories, identifying the improvement areas if any. So that one area which we can do. We can collaborate with the stakeholders. I work closely with the product owner and other stakeholder to communicate the status of incomplete user stories, manage stakeholder expectations, and ensure that the user stories are prioritized and addressed effectively in subsequent sprints. So this updates to stakeholder to maintain transparency and alignment. Okay, so last question is, based on your experience as a Scrum Master, how do you guide your team in determining the baseline for estimation, and what techniques or methods do you use to establish a solid foundation for accurate and meaningful estimations in Agile projects? So as a Scrum Master, my approach to guiding my team in determining the baseline for the estimation and establishing a solid foundation for accurate and meaningful estimation of agile project involves following steps like historical data. So I will encourage the team to leverage historical data from the previous sprint or projects as a baseline for estimation. This may include using the data from the completed user stories or similar work item to establish a reference point for estimating new work. So historical data helps the team in making informed estimates based on past performance, team velocity, and actual outcomes, leading to more accurate and meaningful estimations. Story points. I facilitate the use of story points as a relative estimation technique to establish a baseline for the estimation. I work with the team to identify the reference user stories as well that are representative of the different levels of complexity or effort involved in the project. And I'll facilitate collaborative estimation sessions such as planning poker or other estimation technique where the entire team participate in estimating user story, and during this session I will encourage open discussion and foster team consensus on the estimation for each user story, and this helps in establishing a solid foundation for accurate and meaningful estimations as the team collectively agrees on the complexity and the effort required for each user story. Continuous improvement. I promote a culture of continuous improvement within the team where the team regularly reflects on their estimation accuracy and adjusts their baseline as needed. Training and education also. I provide training and education to team members on agile estimation techniques, including the use of story points, reference user stories, and other estimation methods. So this helps team members to understand the concept and the techniques involved in estimation and ensure that they have the necessary knowledge and the skills to establish a solid foundation for accurate and meaningful estimations. So that's it. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. Hope you found it informative and helpful. Thank you so much.